So I guess my subject for the day would be, what is life? What is life, right? Well, that depends on how you're looking at it. Life can be many things depending on how you're looking at it. If you're looking at it from like a regular mundane sense, life is for you to get yourself together when it comes to, financial anything, and get what you want in life, right? If you look at it from a scientific point of view, life is nothing but just signals to the brain telling you that you're alive, or that you're swimming, or that you're dying, or that you're eating. So, in a mental aspect, life is not real, because of the fact that you're only perceiving this thing and your brain is telling you that it's real. You can actually have your brain tell you a lot of things that's not real, and that's why there are crazy people that are in the loony bin now, so-called the loony bin, right? So what is real? Except for like what I just said, energies from you touching something or seeing something that brings a signal to your brain that says that's a vehicle. You just put your hand on a glass. You just smoke some weed. Now you feel different, right? Now, if you're looking at this shit from a child's perspective, life is play. Life is complete play. It's jumping around and being free and having a good time, right? To some children. Because other children might have another, explanation for life, or another interpretation of life. They might think about it as something different. So one really can't say what life is. If you want to get down to the get down, you really can't say what life is. What the fuck is life? Some would say that life is a game. It's a big game, and if you think about it, it is. In order for you to, but you have to understand though, life is a game within games. So in order for you to get what you want financially, you gotta play a game of work, or play a game of business, or play a game of whatever the fuck your occupation is gonna be. That's a game within itself. Getting the job, going to work every day, being on time, doing your job without getting fired, being free while you're there, getting on your phone when your boss is not around. It's all a game. Man, my boss is about to come up now. You know what I'm saying? Let me get on my phone and look at this one chick on Facebook right quick before he gets here. That's a game in itself. To get home every day is a game. You're playing a game of Tetris basically with other cars, trying not to hit the other blocks. Well, I wouldn't say Tetris because you're connecting the dots on there, but it's a game of bumper cars, or whatever the fuck you want to say. The same type of games you played when you were a kid and you went to the spot where they had the fucking golf at, and they had other shit at, and you just, you're fucking around, right? So what is life, though? I'm still supposed to answer that question, right? Well, I can't answer that. I can't answer that for the mass. For a conglomerate, I can't answer that question. Because for a conglomerate amount of people, or a mass amount of people, life is going to be many things. This is why if you look at it, religion makes no sense. It's all begetting people that were all born differently and with a different mindset and a different stake in life to believe the same fucking thing. But that makes no sense. Because they all act, think, move, correspond, believe differently. So how can there be a world religion when, in fact, everyone can have their own perception of that world religion? Why do you think that you have different versions of the Bible, people that believe different versions and different codes of the Bible, and they make their religion off of that? That makes no sense to sit back and say, well, this is the way for everyone. Because there are some people that are born without even ever hearing of the religion that you're corresponding yourself with. So they're really going to go to hell because they never heard of it? Doesn't make any sense. Life is too expansive for that. And religion can't be the answer again, because of the fact that Earth is supposed to be has been around for millions of years, maybe even billions even. And the phenomenon of Jesus is only a newer religion, so-called possibly 5,000 years in, if that, to be completely honest with you. Even the Bible admits it when it says this is before Christ. So you tell me how a religion of people, or a focal point of people, right, right? A certain tribe of people, or a mixture of tribe of peoples, have been surviving millions of years before you ever heard of Jesus Christ. So how could that make any sense that that is the one and only true Son of God? How can it? That's like a new kid being born nowadays, and their best friend says to the friend, or the kid that I was talking about, Xbox is the only God. Even though there's PS4 over there, there was an Xbox original that came out, the Xbox One somehow is the it thing, even though we already had game systems before that. There's no way that that can make any sense. I'm not here to convert anybody to make them believe differently from what they already perceive as life, because you might be doing your Jesus Christ thing and that might be working for you. That's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing that religion tries its best, in my opinion, because you got to understand, I'm only giving you my opinion on what the world looks like and what it sounds like and what it acts like and what it does. I can't tell you how to think, or anyone that's going to watch this video. I can't tell you how to think on, man, maybe I shouldn't believe in that. If you have it deep in your heart that you've always kind of felt that way, and it just kind of pushes you over the edge to fly, but you know you can do it, then go ahead. But I don't want you to go off the edge and then you kill yourself. And that's one thing that religion can't be found on, or can't have a tremendous impact on, unless there's an agenda behind it. The fact that this is it. This is the only way to do it. Because if you realize there's not, think about driving home. That's like saying, for me, I live in Chicago right now. I live up north and shit. That's like me saying, me taking Tui from this way is the only way home. That's not true. I can take a turn right now and then my GPS is going to redirect me on a new route. So how the fuck can there be one way for you to get to your destination if life is a road map with different directions, different highways, different, you know what I'm saying, like different ways of getting to the same fucking place? You don't think that spirituality is the same thing? You don't think that? You don't believe that spirituality can be the same thing? Can have the same markers on it? Like, well, damn, maybe we can all be spiritual, even from doing different ways of being spiritual. So what is life? Yeah, life is what you make it, but you're influenced to make it a certain way. You can say it all day. It sounds good, right? Life is what you make it, dog. Shit, nigga, life is what you make it. That's cool, my nigga. But another question is, how is somebody making you make it? How is someone making you make it? Because you have influence everywhere. Buy this car. Don't smoke weed. Don't smoke crack is whack. Weed is whack. Weed is good. Drink motherfucking apples and oranges. Drink apples and oranges. Drink apple juice, drink orange juice and all that shit there. It's good for you, right? Don't eat chicken. It's bad for you, right? This is how you know there's not one way to get to anywhere. And it's not one way to get to death. Because there's some motherfuckers that smoke cigarettes their whole lives and they get cancer. Some motherfuckers smoke cigarettes for 5 years and die of cancer. Right? So that lets you know, obviously, it ain't one way to die. It's not one way to be spiritual. It ain't one way to get home. It's not one way to do anything. That's the point. That's like somebody saying, you gotta meditate to be spiritual, dog. If you don't meditate, you ain't gonna never get spiritual. Some people find another way to, exhilarate themselves or relieve themselves or excite themselves. You know what I'm saying? To release themselves. Look at it from another way. Life is nothing but humanity. Excuse my language. I fucked that up. I'm not even saying it right. It's nothing but humanity, and telling you how your humanity should interact with life itself. What is humanity? Humanity is basically your lower self. Now, I believe this is not something that I'm telling like you have to believe in or you're foolish, because that in itself is you getting into your humanity. That's you getting into your ego, which doesn't exist to begin with, but you make it real.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto South Boulevard.
My GPS makes it real. oh, I gotta wear this shirt, man. Like that one chick, she was smiling at me last time I wore this shirt. You get out there and wear the shirt, and you try to talk to her, and she don't go for it. You're like, damn, what the fuck? I could have sworn she was laughing last time because I had to. She was smiling and shit. She liked the shirt. She said she liked the shirt. Now she ain't she ain't check for you today, even though you wore the shirt again. This was your day. You were gonna talk to her. Humanity, dog.
Turn right onto South Boulevard.
You're just getting into your human thought, which, to be honest with you, ain't shit anyways. It's only a mechanism that just keeps you safe. Keeps you sane. Keeps you safe and sane at the same time. But what is being insane? Is being insane actually seeing something that's not there? Or is being insane being basically narcissistic or basically numbing yourself?
Continue on South Boulevard for 1.5 miles.
Which doesn't mean the same thing, but basically being blissful about what's around you. Which one is insanity? Maybe both of them, maybe neither one of them, maybe one or the other. But life, yes, is what you make it, but it's also the influence that is made on you. It's the influence that people are going to make on you. Like, most of the shit that niggas speak nowadays, myself included, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm still a human in that sense. They spout shit that they learned on YouTube and shit, and they feel like they sound smarter than they did before. But it's like, my nigga, this is somebody else's way of thinking. This is not you. Like, if you think about it, Earth is only just information passed down to others that have been misconceptualized, misscrewed, misused, misprovoked, directed in the wrong way. I'm not sure if misprovoked is a word. I don't think it is, actually. Broadcast in the wrong manner. So someone takes the energy from it and they do the wrong thing. And that's one thing that kind of kills me about motherfuckers nowadays. They spit some shit that somebody else spit, and they feel like they did it. You know what I'm saying? They there. They know everything now. It's like, nigga, you just learned somebody else's way of thinking. You have to decode this shit on your own, to be honest with you. That doesn't say don't listen to me on YouTube, but don't listen to somebody else that's giving you something that you're already, your ideology is already fucking concurrent with. That's not to say that. But you're supposed to take the things that you learn and make it into your own image. So if you got to kick some things off the bandwagon at the same time you're doing it, that needs to be done. Because it doesn't correspond to you, right? Or what have you. So what life is can be interpreted a million different ways. A million different ways. You can interpret life in different directions. Because we go in different directions every day, from getting home to thinking about what I'm going to eat for dinner tonight. So that's what that is. Like, what life is, to be honest with you, I still don't all the way understand, and I can admit that. Because you have to understand, to say that you know something, you must admit that you know nothing. I'm going to say this again, because I don't think other motherfuckers even understand that. For you to say that you're knowledgeable about everything means that you have to admit that you know nothing. Nothing. You have to admit that you know nothing. Because if you think about it, we don't. The only, especially, I guess, like, Afrocentric black people nowadays that love to sit back and spout about ancient Egypt and shit like that, you're only reading things, first of all, that have been changed around since the time that it was out there, and the vibrations have been changed, so it's now different. So the information you're going to get from it is now different. You know what I'm saying? And at the same fucking time, you're just spouting it again in a time where, not to say that it didn't mean nothing then, but these things have no merit to life now. Not to say discard it and fuck it, but those systems that were put in ancient Africa, most of them, some of them, not all of them, because some things are still being used today. This is why Caucasians use the same doctrines that we have and just change the name of it, because obviously it still has energy and vibrations in it. But you guys are talking about things that don't have any correspondence to the world that we live into now. And you're trying to understand why you can't get this, that, and the other. It's just that simple. It's not more different than that. It's just that simplistic. That's what the fuck it is. So, what the fuck is this place? To be honest with you, after all the things I've learned, because I've studied a lot of things, astrotheology, physics itself, ancient religions, all that shit, ancient symbols, the subliminal messaging, all that shit I've studied over the years. I'm 26 years old now, and you know, I'm at a point where I've studied a lot of things and I've learned some things, but I realize in that sense I've only kind of basically learned nothing, because sometimes you can read information, and then with subliminal message, a subliminal message technique is called conflicting information. You can get different sources of different information about the same subject at the same time, that you then don't know what reality is, and you then don't know what the explanation for that should be, because of the fact that you're hearing someone tell you that Jesus was God, and then you're saying someone tells you at the same time Jesus is not. Now you can get more information telling you more about the other side than whatever, but still it's conflicting information.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto West Estes Avenue.
But things like Jesus Christ is not, like, you know, never lived, that's simple. To me it is. Because history shows that never really, none of that shit happened in the sense of a physical man that walked the earth. History shows that. And even if you come up with every answer in the fucking book, you've never seen them in yourself. Or you've seen them because you made that something that's abstract, well, not abstract, but something that is concurrent to you.
In 500 feet, turn left onto North Glenwood Avenue.
Something that makes sense to you, or something you've seen because of your faith. But seeing is not always believing, though. You have to understand that. A crazy person sees things all the time that is so-called not really there, right?
Turn right toward North Glenwood Avenue, then turn left onto North Glenwood Avenue.
My bad, my GPS is on and shit. I'm driving, trying to get back to the crib. But, so you can be crazy enough to believe that shit that you believe, to see a figure that so-called never existed. And there are many different versions.
Turn right onto West Estes Avenue, then your destination will be on the right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get different versions of why something was real, and you'll see it as if it was really there, even though it never existed.
Your destination is on the right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that can happen all the time. So then you have to realize, like, man, maybe this is all bullshit, and life is all bullshit. I don't believe, like I said, everything I'm saying here is something I believe. You don't have to get on my fucking channel and start talking shit and all that bullshit, because I don't want to hear that shit. I mean, I'm not saying I want to hear your explanations on what the fuck this is, but at the same fucking time, you don't gotta get on here being negative and spouting your bullshit that you think you know because somebody else told you that bullshit. Fuck you. You don't know shit. You only know some real nigga shit, basically, when you come to these conclusions on your own, and you make your own philosophy on it. It doesn't mean it's gonna be all the way right. You know what I'm saying? But you have your own version of it, so you're spouting what the fuck you really believe. But that's what it is. Life is actually basically whatever you believe it to be. If you believe that you're the kid that can never get right and you'll always be that way, and that's what life is gonna be for you then. You'll be the kid that can't get right. Until you change the way that you think. And now you think, man, I can do anything. And now you can do anything. That's how the fuck it goes. So life is very difficult to understand, but at the same time, it's not that abstract. It's not that difficult to understand. If you could just sit back and figure this shit the fuck out and just think, rather than being influenced by subliminal messaging or predictive programming or whatever the fuck else you want to fucking use, then you'll realize what the answers are. You'll realize them. You'll figure it out. It's like, all right, well, that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that is, and that's how that goes, and that's okay. That's what I understand it to be, or whatever the fuck. Now, there is truth in this universe. Don't act like, because I'm telling you there's many different ways to look at stuff, and blah, 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 blah. There's no absolute truth, because there is. I'm just saying that the earth has been around for so fucking long, it's hard to figure it out. It's hard to get to it at this point. And there might not be any actual absolute truth in this time. Because, I mean, well, this is a fixation anyways, if you want to look at it like that. Like I said before earlier, life is only basically the Matrix, like the Matrix told you in the movie. Which means that none of it's real, your mind makes it real. Simple. It's not that hard to understand. Your mind makes it real. Your mind makes all of this real. My mind makes it real that I'm sitting in a car talking to my fucking phone right now. My mind makes that real. That's what my mind makes real. Like, straight up. That's just what that is. So if you're looking at it from any type of scientific notion, as an adult, that's what you're gonna have to come to at the end of the day if you're really opening your mind and you know what I'm saying, and the capsules that are in your brain that's capsulated in whatever. You know what I'm saying? You will realize, damn, none of this shit is real. It's just what I make it, pretty much. Pretty fucking much. That's why when some, you know what I'm saying, like these niggas in the hood or somebody mama and shit, oh, Jesus Christ just blessed me. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. No, she made that bullshit real, so she got what she wanted, but really it's only the want for her to get whatever the fuck she was talking about, which is human-based anyways. When you die, your spirit or your soul doesn't give a fuck about any of that goofy nigga shit anyways, to be really honest with you. Your spirit doesn't give a fuck if the world is earth around, or if the earth is earth around. Wow. If the earth is a square or a fucking circle. The spirit that is actually you does not give a fuck about that. Of course, your human mindset gives a fuck about, wants to argue about, is Jesus real and all that bullshit. In the sense, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter because your spirit doesn't give a fuck. The next world past this does not care if Jesus Christ existed. It does not fucking care. But if you believe enough that he does exist and you did the wrong thing in life, when you die, you might actually meet a so-called Jesus. But that does not mean that it actually exists to everyone. Or it actually exists really. It only exists to you. So basically the moral of the story, because this is what I'm trying to do in my videos, is come up with like a moral and an answer. Life is what you make it. It can be conceptualized and deterred. But life is basically how you perceive it. So if you want Jesus Christ to be real in your life and present, then he is. It is. Or whatever the fuck. But that doesn't make it real for everyone. So that's my video for the day. Hopefully you motherfuckers, somebody watches this shit and actually, you know what I'm saying, gets rejuvenated from it or something, you know, and I don't know. But that's the video I want to put up for the day. I'm putting this shit on YouTube, so you guys have a nice day.